recording. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Pablo. How are you, my friend?
I am good. I haven't talked to you in a while.
A little bit. Well, I mean, I saw you somewhat recently. We wound up in the depths of Brooklyn somehow, and we turned it into a quite a magical evening. So,
Oh, yeah, that was like. How did we end up in the middle of nowhere?
I mean, it started in kind of the middle of nowhere, and then we got on a subway a couple stops, and then we continued walking about a mile and a half. And so, we started from the middle of the nowhere, then we continued to the middle of nowhere by subway, and then we continued on foot. And keep in mind, I had only met up with Yell at that point, like at that location, as I'm sure you guys were previously together before.
Yeah, I don't remember, man. All of these nights, like going out and stuff, they're all a blur at this point.
That was kind of an interesting one though, because I mean, I ran into a hometown friend. I kept referring
Yeah, I
to him
do
by his,
remember
by
that.
his full name. I kept referring to him by his full name, middle name included, and everyone's like, "Why are you referring to this kid as his full name?" And then my friend's like, "No, actually, they kind of just call me by my full name, middle name included." So I'm like, straight up justified.
Yeah, I do remember that. And then I
Yeah,
remember you guys came outside, and
yeah.
then it was like 3 in the morning, and I was like, I got a flight in the morning. I think I had to go to either Iowa. I don't remember.
Iowa, dang. And we were
Um,
outside, and I was obsessed with this kid's jacket because here it looked like an Eddie Winslow jacket from Family Matters or something. And then he
that's
eventually,
right.
yeah, he let
That's
me try
right.
it on, and I got a picture with him on it. He was a good dude.
Random shit that happens in Brooklyn.
It was just straight up like, all right, man, you can try on my jacket if you love it that much.
That's
So
amazing.
I did it proudly. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, man, because
Yeah, buddy.
this is actually quote unquote interview or guest or whatever you want to call these things, number 50.
Congratulations.
And well, thank you.
So
And
far,
when
you've
I
made it.
thought about it, I was like, wait a minute, isn't there a cat who supposedly went to all 50 states?
Supposedly. There you go.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't have any visual evidence of all 50 states, but I'll believe you.
you're right. I don't think I've been to Indiana quite this century, but so I'm not sure if I have too many memories of that. But you've seen some decent footage of me just waking up in the middle of the Midwest or something and just sending it to Kick and Fried. So
What inspired you to go to all 50 states?
well, I was gonna
Because I
plan a
don't know
trip.
about you, but I mean, there's a handful of states that's like, I don't care if I ever go there.
Exactly, but there was going to be a reason for going to the Midwest at some point. So I kind of just looked at a map and realized I could hit up 7 states that I had never been to on said trip. And then I just kind of started looking at maps, and then I kind of did a little bit of it in a cheap way, where I would just kind of find the closest border, and then like just get outside the rental car and just kind of like stretch my arms for like 10 minutes and like look in the wilderness, and it's like, well, here's Montana. But then you get
What 7 states did you look at that you were like, you know what, I can knock these out real quick?
yeah. So that one would have been South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota.
Hang on. Those states are big. You can't just knock them out.
And well, I mean, I flew to Rapid City. I remember I was with Eamon and like one of his British hometown friends or something like the night before, and I had a 7:30 a.m. flight, and he was like falling out of his chair at the hair of the dog, and I'm like, and I think the bouncer was kicking us out, but then I'm like, I had a 7:30 flight, and I texted you guys the next day when I'm taking a selfie from Nebraska, and that was the picture you used from last time.
Mm.
From that area, I mean, from that area, South Dakota, it's like 2 hours to like 4 different borders, and then I just drove back east to hit up Minnesota and Iowa. So,
And you saw both Dakotas in that trip, right?
I mean, that was primarily a South Dakota trip, and that state slaps. It's highly underrated. I mean,
What,
they say that
South
there's,
Dakota?
yeah, bro, the Badlands, Mount Rushmore. I mean, there was a national park I didn't hit because I wasn't into the national parks so much yet, but Black Hills Forest, I think they call it. So that was beautiful. And they say that there's nothing there, but what they never say about it is that nothing is beautiful. Like the fact that I'm on a strip of road and I can see for like miles each way, like I mean that was beautiful just because it was nothing. I mean they use it as a pejorative term, but it was a wonderful thing.
I don't know, man. I met someone from North Dakota, I think, once, and I was like, we need to just kind of sell those states,
Yeah,
kind of like trim the fat, you know?
I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, we can build a better and bigger Mount Rushmore.
All right. I mean, it's debatable these days who would get on it. I'm not getting into that, but it was an interesting sight to behold.
What was your least favorite state?
Ah, considering I didn't see too many, I'm gonna go with Kansas. I was in that and like the Oklahoma Tri-Point with Missouri. I had been to Missouri before at the same time, so that was a little. I assume that if I went back and got a full experience at each state, I assume that Kansas would be the lowest, if you will. I did drive through Iowa and the cornfields for an entire hour. I took the route to Minnesota that was a little bit more Iowa centric, and that was all right, a little windy, but I can kind of just see Kansas as being the least of everything.
The least of everything. Well, you're trying to be very nice and saying that all
It's
states
college
have something, which is true. Which is true. It's
college basketball, the
absolutely true.
Jayhawks. You know,
Well, yeah, the Jayhawks suck.
the Jay. Well, okay. I mean, I think they were good when I was in college, but
Well, I just
yeah.
say that because I'm a Kentucky fan, so
All right, there you go. There you go.
they're
Well,
not the best of friends.
yeah, of course. Calipari, he's a interesting guy.
I was thinking about like all the states that I've been to, and I don't think I've counted, but I'm guessing it's going to be closer to like 30 or 35.
All right, I could see that. Born in, or well, not born in, but lived in North Carolina for a bit. You probably been out west.
Yeah, the only state that I really want to go to that I haven't been to, well, I guess the two states would be Washington and Portland. No, what's that? Oregon.
Yeah.
Portland's a city.
Well, exactly. I mean, I was visiting some kickball teammates somewhat recently in Washington, so because I do that. Bjorn, bro, I went to Seattle and I saw Bjorn.
How's kickball treating you?
I mean, pretty good. I haven't been around that much this season. I mean, because the thing is, like, why do we gotta have it on Thursdays when like other happy hours abound and whatnot? And next week we got a bachelor party in Miami or something. So, but I'm already looking ahead to the summer, and I'm thinking I should have probably joined a side league this season, but I was a little bit too busy for the Wednesday stuff. But,
A side league.
yeah, bro. I mean, you know about the side leagues.
God
Even
damn
though
it.
it's kind of blurred post COVID, because then it's like, you and I joined this like the side league or whatever on the Sunday, because like that was literally the only thing going on in Manhattan when I was catching my 7 a.m. flights home from Florida. And then
Oh yeah, was that the
yeah.
winter league or
Yeah,
spring league?
dude, Flaming Saddles. I mean, well, before we recall Flaming Saddles, when we just hung out at the gay bar Flaming Saddles, and they took care of us nice. Tyrone, real good dude.
Back to the states. How's Bjorn and
Oh man, Bjorn and Carol, they were there, and I had another friend there too because I'm good at the solo-ish trip where I go to a random city and have a friend there. I mean, I also went to San Francisco recently and saw a side pony, our old kickball teammate. I think you know her a little bit. So essentially, I go all over the damn world to visit kickball people. But Seattle was interesting. Hit up a few national parks, but my last night there, gotta reminisce about some kickball with Bjorn. So.
Yeah, I want to go to Seattle, Portland. I think the only other place that I would want to go to is like Nashville. I mean, I've been to Tennessee, but not Nashville.
Yeah, I was at Nashville 10 times the previous decade. So,
That's a lot.
but as we didn't even fly there. We would just leave for Nashville at like 1 in the morning and then get there at like, noon or something. And it's just like, all right, let's just sleep for an hour and then go hit the streets.
Why would you go there so often?
I don't, because my idiot buddy from back home, he just always used to hit me up and say, let's go to Nashville. And like, what am I going to say? No.
I mean, you could.
I mean, I actually did a couple times. I mean, in terms of how many times I've been to Nashville, I didn't go to Nashville every single time he went. So
What was the
I did
attraction of Nashville for him?
I think it was just the fact that it's kind of quote unquote drivable, and that was before I was probably too poor to purchase an airplane ticket. But just the vibe of Broadway, if you will, like maybe the country music. Even I, like a kid from Brooklyn, like even country music has grown on me, which I never thought it would. So
Yeah, I mean, country music's got like its niche, and then every now and then there's some like decent song, right? But yeah, I'm not a
I hear you.
country music guy.
I mean, the interesting thing about country is that like that's like the only thing in the world where like I feel like everything else in the world is either like cool or not cool. Like Nickelback is like decidedly not cool according to society. But like country, like you will find some cool people who hate on the country, and you will find some other cool people who love country. So it's literally the only like like what's the term I'm looking for? Like a cool proof thing, like and like ununiformly cool or uncool thing. Anyway, that's my 2 cents about country.
So basically, what you're saying is either you hate it or you love it. It's very split.
But the fact that it is split because we decided that everyone hates Nickelback. I don't mind Nickelback too much, but I don't mind like the memes of making fun of that.
I mean, I think the problem was all of their songs sound the same, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just repetitive.
So then all of a
Same over.
sudden it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
All right, what is your favorite state?
I'm gonna have to go with a state that I never had the dream of going to before I had the
Rhode
same
Island.
goal. Nah, Rhode Island. I did go to a good wedding in that state once. I mean, having gone to school in Boston, well, Maine was actually my 50th, but Alaska was probably the best because that's just
Really?
majestic views that you can never expect. I was with you the night before, and I think I was with you the day I got back because I went from like Monday to Saturday, and then
Was
what
it
was
that
Sunday
house
night?
party with Jess?
Uh I
I don't
think
remember.
the day before we went, we wound up at that Clinton Hall on the Upper East Side before I had a late flight. And then we had like a birthday party and wound up in like, you know, like, we wound up all hanging out at the New York Medical Center because of course we have apartments there or something. So that was a long day. So those were my bookends for Alaska.
How did you like? How did you get around? Because it like I don't know anything about Alaska.
Yeah, I
I'm
rented a car pretty much.
completely ignorant, right? So in my head, it's all just ice.
Exactly. And I mean, pretty much there's only kind of one road when you fly to Anchorage. I mean, you can either go north or you go south. Maybe it forks off like, like maybe 100 miles that way or that way. But I mean, once again, I was lucky enough to have friends there. I had two different friends there. I had a girl from my hometown who was just, and I'm the most random person she could have pictured visiting. And then I met a guy on a study abroad trip in high school who's from Montana. He lives there. I had seen him like 10 years earlier because he crashed on my house. So, no, crashed on my apartment one night randomly when he was in town. And I just texted him. I'm like, yo, man, I'm in Alaska. He's like, all right, I'm an hour and a half north of the airport. Come hang for a couple hours. So basically, the fact that I could spend a few days with friends and, adhere to the totally majestic scenery, that was the dream.
Were you able to see Alaska? I mean,
Yeah.
not Alaska. Russia. Russia from Alaska.
No, not quite the Sarah Palin meme of seeing Russia from my house. Because, like, I mean, yo, once you get, like, I mean, you have to take probably a bush plane to all the way the west side of Alaska. So,
And you didn't do it?
nah, I mean, the bush plane, that sounds interesting. Has all the national parks there. You got to get a bush plane on. But, I mean, essentially, I just kind of kept it centralized in Anchorage. But no regrets.
Now, did you get like 12 hours of, or I don't know how it works, but isn't there like a funky thing where it goes for anywhere from like 12 to like 18 to like 36 hours of light or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting having, 36 hours of daylight a
Isn't that
day.
what they do though? Like in
Yeah,
Alaska,
I mean,
like where they have to literally like buy blackout curtains so they
yeah,
can
I
go to sleep
mean,
at night.
I mean, I was there in March and it was light till like 9. So the fact that I was kind of there mid-year, um, and I think it depends on like how north or south you are in the state, but the fact that I do know some places like it's kind of dark for months at a time or only for like, only light for like 4 hours a day or something, like when you get to the northernmost uh spots in the state. Because I mean, as soon as I went, I just kept watching more documentaries about Alaska because I was fascinated about it. And I'm just looking at the state of Alaska on my global map right now. My three-part uh, portrait of the world in across my bedroom right now. So as I'm thinking about it, so yeah, there are aspects of that I do know.
So no regrets on Alaska. I'm guessing no regrets on Hawaii.
I mean, I was there 2 months later. I kept you on all the threads because I was still being that obnoxious guy who I was going away like every 2 weeks that period. And of course, I mean, I fit in one more trip because one morning when I took a 7 a.m. flight back from Florida to catch Kickball, which was canceled, we were hanging out and you were straight up like, all right, Kieran, I'm going to Mexico on Wednesday if you want to come. And I'm like, all right. Oh man, I squeezed Mexico in right before Alaska and right before Hawaii.
That's right.
Oh
That was
yeah.
a fun trip.
That was an amazing trip. I'm just saying, I never dreamed about Mexico either, but that wonderful island. The night we were at that place a little bit south of the island, we had our hammocks and whatnot. We were just chilling with some fancy margs and watching that sun go down on the beach.
Oh yeah, that like
Like
super
that,
remote little
yeah, like that
shack
hut
of
that
a
didn't even
bar.
have electricity, but it stays open without electricity somehow.
That was actually pretty legit.
That was insane, bro. Are you in
That
Mexico right now?
yeah.
Okay, there you are. You're in Mexico right now. I
But I'm
mean,
not at Cozumel.
yeah, you're in like Mexico City area, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now Cozumel was actually surprisingly beautiful.
All right. I mean, I wasn't too surprised, but I mean, and we had my drone too, so
Well, you and your damn drone. How much you pay for that shit?
probably like 600 after everything.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting one, and I just
I
keep
mean,
not
it's
doing it.
sick. It's sick. I'm basically like I feel like they should pay me with how much I post about it on social media. You know,
Do you use the hashtag company name or whatever?
I should. You know, I could be a damn influencer.
Well, I mean, if you're visiting every state, and
All
then you went
right.
to where you go? England?
I mean, I went to London and Paris recently. You'll
Do you
never
not have it? Do you
guess.
not have a job? Like, do you just
I
like?
mean, I can fly on the plane and get hours back. Like, I mean, I can. I mean, I can work on the plane for like a work day if it's like 6 hours west, 6 hours to London. So it's like sometimes I'm like, all right, let me just ping my coworkers, tell them I'm in and disposed for a couple hours that I'm working on the data, and here we go.
Man, you're living the dream.
Yeah, I had a friend in London. You'll never guess where I met the London friend from. You got
Kickball.
it. Oh yeah, you got it. Kickball.
Kickball, man. Kickball is life, apparently.
I mean, I'm just saying, like that was actually a somewhat recent team in like December, and like one of my buddies on a recent team, he was the only one who joined it with me. So we had a decently tight group there, and then one girl was British. So I mean, she was texting on the group thread that like, all right, I'm still in England when my team was trying to meet up, and then I just text her and I'm like, all right, I'll see you in England next week, and she's like, all right, you're coming. So
That's awesome.
straight up,
No,
I mean,
I will like. I know I laugh at like kickball and everything, but I mean that shit is actually fun, and it's a great way to meet people.
I mean, straight up. I mean, the fact that we had our winter league and we made so much of it because last time we did this podcast was like December 2020, and I knew that
Right.
that winter was gonna suck, except for the fact that I knew I was gonna get away a little bit to like Florida, Alaska, Hawaii, and then of course you interjected with Mexico, which was also like one of my best trips ever. Like literally, like that spontaneous one that I took. But the fact that I would fly home at 8 a.m. just to catch our kickball team and like just play in the freezing cold and then go drink some beers at a gay bar and then just like the fact that we all made the most of it and getting on the damn news, bro.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's
Yeah,
that's an all time clip right there.
I didn't even try to get on the news, but I'm just saying I was talking to those two dudes and we were just shooting the whatever, and then all of a sudden the cameraman's like, all right, we got to get this guy on camera.
So background behind that, it was the day before the
Oh
snowstorm,
yes, the snowstorm.
and we went out and played kickball in the freezing cold,
Oh yeah, and then we checked out
and we went to the we went. Did we go to Flaming Saddles and then the I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a Japanese.
yeah, we got to start at the Flaming Saddles, but then we went to some like Asian food place, and
Yeah, because
I
that's the
do remember,
place.
even though we ate at Flaming Saddles because we had to, like I think I still remember like eating the Asian food and loving it or whatever.
That's right, because back then, if you ordered anything, you had to order food because of COVID.
Yeah, Cuomo chips, that really saved the coronavirus. Good job, Cuomo.
Dude, it's crazy to think that that was like 2 years
A lot,
ago.
a lot of hygiene theater. I mean, time kind of stands still based on what we went through, but I think for the most part we've returned to our normal existences.
No, yeah, 'cause that whole COVID thing. I mean, holy shit. No, but before we go into that, no, but yeah, we played kickball in the freezing cold. We went to Flaming Saddles, and then I don't remember the Japanese spot, what it's called, but it started to snow, and we were like, oh shit, this is the beginning of the snowstorm. And then that's when the news channel, I guess, found you
I
and
think they were just
interviewed
trying to
you.
find anyone. Yeah. I mean, I got, they say 15 minutes of fame, but my segment was like 15 seconds just focused on me because, it cuts to my dumbass voice where I'm just saying everyone's going to be home. And then it shows a clip of us in the indoor outdoors,
Yep, yep.
cheersing and whatnot. And then I'm just going to, I mean, I'm happy after a good day and I'm just like bragging about sitting at home and watching the blizzard.
I mean, you're a famous person.
Clearly. I mean, one of my buddies actually caught it live. Like he was at home being a dad, and it's probably like it's the winter during COVID, right before a blizzard. Like it's the last, it's the last thing in the world that he thinks something interesting is gonna happen, and then all of a sudden he just hears my dumbass voice on the TV, and then he's like, "Wait, Kieran's on TV," and then he takes a picture and texts it to my bro group of BC friends, and he's like, "Yeah, Kieran's on the news right now." So I kind of always think about it from his perspective, like him sitting home during COVID, and it's about the blizzard, and like obviously nothing interesting is going on. The world is shut down, and all of a sudden I'm on his TV. So
That's pretty epic.
yeah, right.
And I think we got like what, 12, 20. Was that the February that it snowed like every other day?
Yeah, and like that kickball season that we had like 4 weeks in a row where they didn't actually have kickball games for us. But thank God our team went out anyway because we're all like kind of. I mean, we had people who moved to New York during COVID. You know, I
Yeah,
just wanted to play
yeah.
kickball, and like you were the only one from Kick and Fried who wanted to do it, and I'm like, all right, good thing I don't have to join alone because it's better to have like two cool guys to like kind of set the tone. So
Yeah, because that was the winter of 2020.
2021, I mean 2021.
2021?
And like, that's when COVID was going to come back bad and right before everyone was going to get the vax. So, it's just like really scrapping to find some way to make that winter not the worst winter of all time.
Dude, it's ridiculous to think of all of this shit that has happened since like March 2020.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to kind of like, it just went by so quick.
I mean,
In the winter, obviously in the wintertime in New York City, the epicenter of the pandemic in North America, it felt like it was dragging.
I mean, that's why I had to go to like, visit my buddy who had just moved to Florida, and then, went to California like once just to like, drive up the coast or whatever. And then, Mexico, Hawaii, Alaska, like, right around the time I got vaccinated or whatever. So like I found a way to like really fast forward it, because even when I would like come home, like get home from a trip and then like, we go to kickball, then it's just like I'm still gonna be sitting on my couch the next 5 days in the freaking freezing, because like the next thing I have is like 5 days away. And it's like, even though I'm excited that I don't have to wait like 2 months for the next thing, instead of I only have to wait 5 days, when some people are literally sitting home in January and February not having any friends go out. It's still 5 days sitting at home like doing nothing in between everything. Like that's bad for mental health and whatnot. So
Yeah, I mean, just winters in New York are bad enough.
Exactly.
Add a pandemic, and it was
people
just
already like unmotivated as it is. So
well, so I never like experienced anything even remotely close to like a seasonal depression in North Carolina, because we virtually don't have winter, right? Like there's like 2 to 3 months of cold, and that's about it. And by cold, I mean we get down to like, we'll have a day or two maybe of snow, maybe. But yeah, I remember like the first 2 years, I think, in New York were just completely fine. I mean, it sucked that the sun would go down at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, what the fuck is happening, right? Like, how is this possible? But because I was so excited to be in New York, it was okay. Like, it was no problem.
It still has its charm.
But man,
take a selfie in like your scarf and your little beanie, just like make your friends jealous in front of the Empire State Building.
yeah, I mean, you still find the parties and you still go out and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
But man, once that pandemic hit and I got COVID in, what was it, December 2020, and I like,
you got it like when you were in Mexico or something, right?
yeah, I went to Cabo.
Yeah, of course.
I blame my friend Jared.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, I know he brought it to Mexico with him from North Carolina.
Damn.
There's just no way that we got it in Cabo, because we were outside 98% of the time.
Yeah.
I know he brought it. But anyways, point is, that December, I was indoors for about 80% of the month.
Yeah.
Because of, quarantine and all that crap.
Yeah, and the fact that nothing was going on.
Yeah, everything shut down. I'll tell you what, man. February came around, and I was struggling to get out of bed, man. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm guessing it's I don't know, just maybe a hint of COVID, whatever, maybe.
Long COVID.
But I'm pretty sure it was just a lack of vitamin D and a lack of just, I don't know, like stuff to kind of like do. I don't know. It was just really weird.
Mental health is important. Like, the quote unquote scientists were just trying to shut down a virus, and it's like, let's just give up our entire social lives to do it, instead of trying to find some balance,
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing, right? It's a difficult thing to go because obviously the older and the fatter you are, the more likely you are to die from COVID.
Sure.
Like those are just statistics, right?
Facts. Yeah.
Um, but you can't say, hey, if you're old and fat, stay indoors. If you're healthy, go at it, right? Like you'll be fine, because then all of a sudden the healthy people who do get it could pass it on to the old and fat people, and then they die, and it's like, well, what do? You kind of want to shut down? I don't know.
Yeah, it's thankfully, knock on wood, we're not going to be in that place again. But guys like us, we found creative ways to work around it. So,
Yeah, I mean, like it's one thing to be young and live alone and be quote unquote semi-responsible and go out, right? Because it's not like I could take the virus home to anyone, right? I live by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could understand me going out a little bit and just kind of doing something, right? But I met a lot of people, or I knew a lot of people who lived with parents or uncles or grandparents, or wanted to see their older, relatives or whatever. And it was more than reasonable for them not to want to go out.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky that, I didn't have to. And I mean, I would visit my parents here and there, but sometimes I'd like wait a week because I mean, by nature of not much going on in the world, like in the winter, I would like, go on a trip, but then it's like, all right, now I have a week of absolutely nothing going on, or kickball outdoors, which outdoors is safe. So after a week, it's like, all right, as long as I just get tested, I can go home to my parents' house for a couple of days. And then at least, like time can stand still there. And then, then 2 weeks later, I'd go, then I'd go back to Manhattan and try to live a little, and then, quarantine again, whatever.
I think the only time I ever got tested, well, the first time I got tested was actually in Cozumel, because we had to get tested before getting back in the
Right,
U.S.
and that was a luxurious COVID test, like with those,
Oh, no, I'm lying. The first time I got tested was when I actually
Cabo.
had COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna get tested. I was just gonna assume that I had it in quarantine for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Cause fuck that, man. They're sticking this whole giant pole up your nose. I was gonna say ass, but not ass.
I know. Thankfully, that's not how COVID testing
Didn't
works.
they do that in China to some U.S.
I think
diplomats?
I
Stuff?
heard that there was something like that.
But yeah, I mean, it's so uncomfortable.
I don't know. I mean, like they just jam that up there.
But you got tested like 45 times then.
I mean, yeah.
Did you secretly enjoy getting that thing shoved in your nose?
I probably got tested a total of like 20 times, maybe like 22. So
you count it?
I mean, I mean, during the winter last year, I was getting tested to go home to visit my parents, and then I left the country a few times and had to come back, and like maybe a few tests when Omicron was going on, in case I wanted to visit my parents again. So that probably that probably like comes close to about 20 times. So
yeah, I didn't see my parents for like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe longer, but part of it was because, well, they're the parents. It's like, they're all right.
I mean,
I've seen them for like 30 some odd years.
Yeah,
I know what they're like.
I freeload with mine. They take good care of me. But I go home, I sleep. My dad makes me pancakes. We watch Jeopardy. I'll chill for like a day and a half, and then I'll go straight to my office for my parents' house in Brooklyn. And I'm like, all right, that's pretty happy now. I can go be an adult in Manhattan again. So
yeah, I mean, no, I agree. Like if my parents were around like closer,
Sure.
I'd definitely try and see them. But I mean, I don't want to go all the way to like North Carolina. I mean,
not hear you.
Half the people there don't even know how to read. I mean,
it's easy to exploit it when like you can utilize having your parents around just to like hang out or whatever, but you also don't have to live with them because you're living your cool Manhattan life. So a little bit of
just the coolest.
Yeah. The coolest. Coolest.
Nah. But I'm in the camp of like, all right, you got a vaccine, you're good. Like,
of course.
You're good. Like, there's a reason that everybody got vaccinated, right? Like, I still know people, and I don't bash them, I don't hate them, I don't even say a word, right? Well, except to my parents, but there are people out there who got the vaccine, fully vaccinated, and they're still like super worried, super stressed about catching it, right? And it's like,
You gotta live. I mean, what point do you got
Again,
to do your risk reward analysis? Come on,
right. It's like I respect everyone's decision, right? If you wear a mask
like
in an airplane, great. If you don't, great. I don't give a shit, right? But it just kind of, I just notice it, and I'm like, huh. Then why you get the vaccine for, right? If you're still gonna be like freaking out.
I gotta live my life, and miraculously, I never got it. I don't know how I never got it.
Do you know that you didn't get it?
I had to have gotten it in like March 2020 asymptomatically. Like that's the only way. Like I still haven't gotten it. I don't understand how.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm boosted and whatnot, and like I'll live no matter what. But it's just like I don't know how I never got it.
Do you still eat chickens every day?
Oh yeah. I got my next pound of it in the office because I'm going in the office tomorrow. I mean, I had my previous pound of it earlier in the day, so my chicken breast died. It's almost going on 10 years.
You're
10 years next July.
wait. You've eaten a pound of chicken every day for 10 years.
about 9. Next year will be 10 years. I think I celebrate the Monday after July 4th is like Chicken
Wait,
Breast Monday.
you're gonna celebrate your 10-year chicken anniversary?
Yeah. I mean, I got my 10-year kickball anniversary coming up next month, so July 10th.
Well, I'm sorry I have to miss that.
Yeah, damn. I mean, you're doing well in Mexico. I mean, you're there for what, the summer?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a plan.
Right.
I got invited to Paris in August, so
Cool. I was there. I was part of my London trip, so
nice.
I did meet up with a friend, but sadly it was not a kickball friend, but he was still cool.
Did you guys eat chicken together?
We had some duck because I'm like this dude Alan. I'm like he was like more of a friend of a friend. I didn't know him too well, but like the friend group I know him through, they're all like like because of that friend group, we're like basically like it's like all right, we're friends now. Just to like meet up one on one, and I'm like Alan, just give me some French experience, and he's like, yeah, you can have the duck. That's French enough, because he knew I didn't care too much. I didn't like the fancy wine or anything. I didn't need like the coolest bar in Paris. I'm just like, let's go sit outdoors under the awning and like, anything that's kind of French, I'll be happy. And he's like, all right, we can make that.
Did you have any French chickens there?
I don't believe I did. I had some omelet though, and I think that might be a French word. So maybe some coffee. Coffee can be French.
So let me ask. Let me
Right.
ask. Well, hold on. Let me ask then. Why do you eat a pound of chicken every day?
Because I dropped a few pounds. I was a little chubbier back in the day, right before I moved out of my parents' house. So
Do you what like? But what else do you eat? Like you can't just eat chicken, right?
I mean, I do like steaks and yams for dinner, and I do like hard boiled eggs and maybe some fruit for breakfast. So
Gotcha. Because in my head, you just have a pound of chicken for like breakfast, pound of chicken for lunch, and then a
yeah,
pound of chicken for dinner.
sometimes if I want to be healthy enough, if I'm going out straight after work, I'll eat another pound because like I don't want to get crap when I'm out at the bar. So, but usually I just get crap when I'm out at the bar
So is it just because like chicken's just like a very lean meat?
because it's easy. Like I'm the plainest eater and I'm a boring guy. And all my buddies are like, all right, Kieran, you're going to London and Paris. You better actually, get some food culture or something. You better, which I did. So, basic London or Parisian food, but I am pretty boring. You are correct in the food category.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean,
I mean, it makes
to
me
each
feel
their own.
it makes me feel all right. I'm pretty full from my pork chops this evening, so it was good meat nourishment.
I'm trying to think. What did we eat in Cozumel?
Well, we had that amazing breakfast on the ocean with the dog chilling on the couch for like $26, like between 4 people, and that includes tip. Where I'm just straight up like, all right, I'm paying for this. That's how cheap everything was. Literally, like that was like a 5-star restaurant or something. Like that was about as classy as it gets, and it was $26 total after tip. Oh, and
Yeah.
that I mean, there was yeah, I don't even okay, and the hut or whatever with the hammocks that was that barely even had electricity functioning where we watched the sunset. We did that
No,
a
that
couple
place
times.
was legit. Like
Oh,
that
that was
was,
amazing. That was amazing. And the
yeah.
place with the parrots.
The
The place with the parrots.
pirates.
The parrots.
Oh, the
Right
parrots.
before we saw the place with the crocodile.
Oh yeah, that was the day that we had that guy drive us around, right?
Yeah.
What a weird trip. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it.
That was I mean to book something on 3 days notice. And then the fact that you got there and like, we met up at Playa del Carmen, which is an hour south of Cancun, but right across the water from the island of Cozumel. And you were just
Uh-huh.
straight up like you were just waiting for me, and you're like texting Jess, "Oh, I'm waiting for Kieran to come," and Jess is like, "Wait, Kieran's coming." So, the fact that I showed up on such short notice.
Nah, Jess was a good sport.
Well,
Jess
I
is
mean, no,
awesome.
no, no. She wasn't like a sport would mean that like it's a cost to have me. No, she was awesome about just having another
Wait, who
friend
said
to
it
show up.
wasn't a cost to have you?
Oh yeah, I don't know, maybe, but
We had to go find some Mexican chickens and kill them just for you, man.
oh my gosh, the horror.
Nah, it is kind of crazy the price difference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$26 for 4 people,
I
including
mean,
tip.
money well spent. And we all brought our work laptops because I think we're just kind of like, all right. I mean, I had the philosophy of just working on vacation so I can keep going on vacation.
Damn. Nah, I just keep thinking about like all this stuff that's happened in the last 2 years, man. It's crazy to think.
I feel you. I
Crazy to
mean, the
think,
first time I
man.
was on the podcast, you were asking me about the fact that I didn't have beer for 4 months. So, I mean, I just,
Oh
was laying at home.
yeah.
I had to wait at least 100 days to like,
But
have some
okay,
beers with
so
some friends.
so just real quick on that. I mean, did your body actually feel that much better? Like that different?
I think the point I made last time was the fact that I can't independently isolate it because, like, it came amongst the world being shut down and me not going out and me living quietly. So, like, there were so many different things that were just completely different. But to be honest, I didn't feel that much different.
Yeah,
I,
I've done like 1 month, and I honestly can't say that I felt any better.
I mean, I didn't go out for 3 weeks at the beginning of the year. I didn't care about Omicron. I was just tired and it was cold. So I did kind of a mini sober quarantine, sober teen in January of this year because like I was just tired because hey, when the world reopened, it's like I kept going out in this Manhattan life and I was just a little tired, so it seemed like a good time to take a few weeks off again. So I did, have a few weeks of a similar experience, but 20 days is not quite 122 days. So
I mean, that's a long time, dude.
no, it was I had some opportunities to like have beers with friends in the day, like some Kick and Fried people. They were the first people I saw, but I was just straight up like, I'm not gonna have any beer right now. But like, once I got to 100 days, I'm like, all right, let's go out and celebrate life and enjoy some.
Yeah, I actually so this is another thing. Like I met this guy, and he said that he ran a half marathon like the same day that I did, and he said that he didn't drink for like a month or two before the half marathon so he could train and be ready
Yeah,
for it.
some people do that.
But
Probably not the case for you.
no, I was out drinking the night before I ran the half marathon, and I think he ran it like 45 seconds faster than me or something like that.
Yeah, I hear you. So I
And
mean,
so
you
I'm
could
thinking
probably
like, I don't know. I in my head it just means that as long as you drink responsibly, I
sure.
think your life is not going to change if you stop drinking.
I mean, like it was good quiet for me, so I didn't mind it. I mean, just because the world was shut down, and I think I made this point on the last podcast, but the fact, like the issue of FOMO, the fact that I knew a lot of people weren't going out in like March and April, so I didn't feel like I was missing out by not going out. But if I just stayed home for the next 4 months, I'd have so much FOMO right now because the world is active. It's the summer in New York where we're fully back to life. So
Well, that was actually one of my biggest worries. Is like if I came to Mexico, I was going to have like huge FOMO of like, damn, because I already know what summer in New York is like, right? Like, that
yeah,
shit is
I,
legit.
I understand that.
But
I
man, as
mean,
soon as I got here, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about what's going on over there because I'm kind of in the moment here.
no, you got to do you. I mean, that's good. I mean, I hope that you eventually make it back city side, but you can live it up in your country of origin in the meantime.
I'll definitely be back for America's birthday. I'll tell
Oh,
you
hell
that
yeah.
much.
All right, all right. I might be wrong.
I want to see those fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Those fireworks.
Anyway, everything good with you, man?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just chilling. I guess summer's here. So, with the highs and lows in life, it's a damn roller coaster. So I'm feeling that
You gotta enjoy the ups and you gotta enjoy the downs, man. That's
a little bit. No, but I'm doing smoothly.
very nice. Well, Kieran, I had to have you on as number
Yeah,
50
this
since you've been to
specific number.
all
So
50 states.
yeah, let's see if I ever make it to 100 countries. Let's see if I can, be your 100th guest or something. If I get to 88 more countries, because I'm at 12 countries now. By the time you have 50 more podcasts, then I'll request it. With the
I mean,
likelihood of
if you
spending
travel
time.
to 100 countries, I'll be beyond impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it cheaply where I can go to Liechtenstein from Germany or something and like just drive through it like I did the States. But yeah, I don't quite have the 100 countries goal in mind. So
That
I'm
would
good.
be absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, I know some people who are probably close. So I'm keeping it moderate.
Maybe we can do another podcast when you have your 10-year chicken anniversary.
All right, yeah, that's in about a year because we can also consider this my 10-year kickball anniversary because that's next month. I'll be celebrating all of July, so this is the kickoff to my 10-year kickball
Before I
anniversary.
let you go, what's the secret to winning a kickball?
um, Coming in with an open mind and the fact that you're not taking life too seriously and knowing that a lot of the people you meet in the league are joining for the same reasons you are because they don't have
To
their
get shit faced.
and maybe meet some nice people of
Oh yeah, that too.
and but no, I'm just saying, but to because their lives aren't completely settled where like they're not completely comfortable, so they need to join kickball to shake it up a little bit. So that's how you embrace it.
Hey man, it's just another aspect of life, and it's a good one.
A little bit.
All right, man. Well, again, thank you for coming on. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
if you're in for the holiday weekend, I'll hit you up. I've been meaning to like hit up your boys too because like when I'm out with Tank or whatever, like we gotta text British some night or something because they live right by. So
Yeah,
I
British
I
is
have that.
literally right next to
Yeah,
James.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I got things like that in mind, but all definitely collaborate at some point. So this is just goodbye for a few. Enjoy Mexico, but I know that you'll reappear in my life, in the human form, relatively soonly.
When appropriate.
Inappropriate.
All right, man. Well, I'll catch you later. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me again as number 50.
Absolutely, man.
I'll give this a listen in a few days, and I'll be like, "What the hell did I say?" But it's totally worth it when I'm just on the podcast with you.
No, it's awesome, man. Again, I'll talk to you later, dude.
All right, man. I'll see you.